Welcome to Chasing K-Dramas, the podcast that dissects popular Korean dramas episode by episode. We dive into the characters, themes, and everything in between. I am Dulcé Sloan, and I'm here with my co-host,
Chrissy Choi.
Now, Miss Chrissy.
Yeah.
Chrissy Ann, if you're nasty. So, what's been going on, friend? What do we have going on?
There's a lot going on in the world. But like I said last time, I'm very excited for Gilded Age. That's
Yes.
all I can talk about. That's all I'm dreaming, thinking about.
I will start. You know what? Once I get home,
You got to do it.
I will sit down with Marianne Hill, Mumsy.
I have been so inspired by the Gilded Age that I am watching documentaries about that era.
Oh, goodness.
And in fact, I am, because I was a little, social media is a lot. And I feel like because we're doing this podcast and you have to be so active
Yes.
and we're constantly creating content, I'm
Yes.
a little burnt out. So I am forcing myself to read constantly. So I found a book when I was home in my high school room. And it is a biography of Theodore Roosevelt that I never really got into. New York Times bestseller. It's like this thick. It's called Theodore Rex. So it's like a part 2 and it's about his presidency. So am I reading? Because it's, tied to the Gilded Age. So I'm reading about the era.
Roosevelt was president during the Gilded Age?
Theodore Roosevelt, 1900s. Yeah.
There's another Roosevelt?
There's Theodore, Teddy Roosevelt, who made all of the
freeways.
And he made I don't think he did freeways. Wasn't that Eisenhower?
Yeah, it was Eisenhower, yeah.
Yeah. So Teddy Roosevelt created all of the national parks. He was a Rough Rider.
And the Panama Canal?
He did. It was either going to be, I'm reading about this now, it was either going to be Nicaragua or it was going to be Panama.
And Panama had the thinnest stretch.
Yes. And it was going to be cheaper, and Nicaragua was a little bit more complicated. But yes, so I'm at that part. But this is what I do to wind down because, there's a lot going on in the world.
Can I introduce you to coloring?
Honestly, I think my personality, it would kind of help. But orchestra's starting soon. So orchestra is going to be back. We have rehearsals starting in September. So I will have another outlet.
The other thing I wanted to talk about is if you don't know, now you gon' know. On September the 1st, we are doing our live episode of the last episode of Marry My Husband.
Yes.
And we are doing it with a special guest, a comedian.
A friend of Dulce.
A friend of mine. Un amigo or amiga, amigue, amiguix. I don't know. And so it's a friend of mine's coming on to talk about the last episode of Marry My Husband. And that's going to be live at 7:30 on September the 1st at the Improv Lab.
Yes. And come. And you know what? You'll hang out with us because I think the show is going to be intimate enough where we can chat with y'all. We're going to be selling merch.
So we're going to be doing it in the lab. We're doing merch. We're going to be, so we're making various things of merch. We're going to be selling very fun things.
Yes.
I think it's going to be exciting. And then I'm doing a Sweet 16 show on September the 20th.
Yes.
In the belly room of the Comedy Store. And it is a Sweet 16 because this year, on May the 12th was my comedy birthday, and I've been doing stand-up for 16 years. And things are very different than when I started. Because when I started, there was Facebook, and MySpace was still a thing.
Yeah, and now everyone is on.
And now
TikToks.
and now the TV industry is going crazy because of social media. So
And podcasting. We are now a video pod.
and now because people love watching the radio. But I'm also going to be on tour, so you can come go to dulcesloan.com to see what my tour dates are. On September the 12th, I'm going to be in Iowa City, Iowa at Club Hancher. In September 26th to the 27th, I'm going to be at Laughs in Seattle, Washington.
Ooh, Seattle.
And then October the 23rd, I'm going to be at the San Francisco MoMA. And November 14th to the 15th, I'm going to be at New York Comedy Clubs in Stamford, Connecticut. They have a club there.
Oh, what is it? November
14th and 15th.
Ah, man. It would have been great if it was earlier. You know why?
Because
we're running the marathon. Yeah. So Thomas and I are running the New York Marathon.
So
November 2nd. It's the first Sunday of the month. Yeah, that would have been fun.
Listen, and I would have stood there and watched because I want no parts of 26.2 miles. I want no.
Huh? September
The
3rd.
3rd. Right. And then on December 5th and the 6th, I'm going to be at the Vermont Comedy Club in Burlington.
Ooh, I feel like Vermont is like, I feel like a lot of people like in Vermont.
Yeah, Vermont was good. I was there last time,
audience.
and I got to ride the boat called the Ethan Allen.
Oh, like the furniture store.
Exactly. See, I kept talking about the furniture store, but apparently the Ethan Allen furniture store is not in Vermont.
It's a Southern thing, probably.
Apparently, but they were looking at me like I was nuts.
This week, we are talking about episode 12 of Marry My Husband.
Marry my husband.
So this episode, compared to the previous ones, it's a bit of like, not a letdown, but like things kind of like
slow down.
There's new character. I don't really like her, but it just gets a little, this is the point where people, a lot of the netizens were upset because they're like, oh, it's deviating from the web novel, right? So we'll get through it, but it's still fun. A lot of things happen. Our key moments, okay? Jiwon's traumatic past with her mother is revealed. So we go into her childhood trauma. Then, of course, we have Yoora, who is the ex-fiancé of Jihyuk, right? Then she appears, and then Jiwon and Jihyuk decide to take a break because Jiwon is very surprised by the arrival of Yoora, okay? And then finally, we learn more about Jihyuk's past, and then... Oh, there's not finally. We learn more about Jihyuk's past. Soomin discovers the truth of Jiwon's plan. And last but not least, there is a crazy car accident at the end, which reminded me a lot of Queen of Tears.
Listen, if there's anything, is a car accident one of the tropes of a Korean drama?
There has to be, yeah.
Because
and it's a big ass truck. It's always a big ass, not like a tractor trailer, but it's one of those big ones, you know, mini big ones.
There's always I can say Korea has some of the smallest trucks I have ever seen.
We saw even smaller. We saw the cutest little truck in Japan. Japan has like the most delightful looking cars. They're like tiny little, like they look like they're from the 90s.
That big.
Yeah, it's so cute. It's just like adorable.
Listen, we have all this. This is all the square footage we got.
Yeah, so we have to make a little baby little car. Yeah,
because like when I went to London the first time,
the cutest cars too.
And I was like, oh, if you brought a Suburban over here,
no, people will curse you out.
You would hit cars on both sides of the street. Like you would hit buildings. You would drive through a Waitrose. Like you would take one Suburban could take that entire country out.
You know the funny thing about growing up in the South is that, you know, an everyday car is a Tahoe.
Massive.
Or a Suburban.
Massive.
Or like, you remember those, like, what was it? The Excursion.
I learned how to drive.
The Escalade.
I learned how to drive in an 81 Lincoln Town Car. Do you know how big that is? A land yacht. But like seeing a 16-year-old girl who is maybe 5 feet tall in the biggest vehicle her parents can put around her was a regular thing. And you're like, yeah.
I drove my family Sequoia in college, not high school. Drove that Sequoia.
I remember when the Escalade came out.
Oh yeah, Escalade.
Dope. Remember the Avalanche? You know how big an Avalanche was?
The Avalanche. It was the Excursion too. The Excursion was a huge ass car. That's the Ford version. My friend's mom had that. That was the biggest car I'd ever seen. But like, yeah, in the South, gas is cheap.
South Carolina had the cheapest gas in the entire country.
It was $2.62 when I was just there, and Atlanta was $2.92.
I remember
went to the Quick Trip and I looked.
I remember when gas hit $1 and everybody was pissed.
Oh, when we moved
college.
When we moved to Anderson, South Carolina in 1994, my dad took a photo of the gas station because we had just moved from California, from Orange County. Mm-hmm. It was 89 cents a gallon.
I remember one day in Atlanta, gas was 69 cents.
Isn't that crazy? And I understand like inflation. We open episode 12 with a flashback to Jiwon's childhood. Okay. So Jiwon is a little girl. She's talking to her dad. And she's begging her dad to go talk to her mom.
Yeah, husbands need to go apologize.
Yes. So they got into a fight, her parents, and her mother has left the family, right? So Jiwon talks about how her dad was such a hardworking person, but he was always struggling. So she always looked at him like she loved him and he loved her so much. But I think she, at the same time, felt bad for him.
Well, because she was like looking at his beard and his shirt is stressed out and his hands are like...
Yeah, so I feel like when she was younger, she had a lot of burden on her place with her mom leaving, and I almost felt like she grew up too fast because she's
she
a
had to
little
take care of her
girl.
dad, yeah.
Exactly, she's the caretaker of her dad. So then we kind of jump, right? We jump to another scene where she is at the grocery store, like the convenience store, right? 포장마차, not 포장마차, 편의점.
The corner store, yeah.
Yeah. And the ajumas are talking about her. And they're just like, like, I just feel so bad for her. Her mom
Because
left
she was like, she was pretty like her mom.
She's pretty like her mom. And guess what ended up happening to her dad? The pretty mom left. So she's constantly hearing this stuff from the adults. So she knows what's happening. Yes.
I cannot understand for the life of me why adults are letting them hear letting her hear what they're saying.
Exactly.
And I've
It's
seen
cruel.
adults, and I've seen adults do this to children.
Yeah.
And because I can say, like, as a kid, they would make sure if certain conversations, I think they wanted us to hear, like, I think there were times they wanted us to hear them talking shit. And then other times it was like, out, this is a grown folks conversation. Out.
Yeah.
I think there's certain times that they want, because it's like almost like they want her to hear these things. It's almost like, is this don't end up like your mother, or because I don't understand for the point for her hearing this particular conversation.
I know. And kids, like, they're like sponges. They take in everything. So
They parrot.
They parrot. After that scene, we jump where Jiwon, it's raining. She's following her dad.
Because he leaves and she's like, where's he going?
Yeah. So she's carrying an umbrella. She trails after her dad. And her dad, and they both see her mom having an affair with another man.
And they live down the street.
It's just...
It would have been different. If you're going to run away, run away. Don't be walking distance from me and your daughter.
It's so sad. So you can just tell. And she sees this and she starts running, and she runs to the same spot where she took Jihyuk, right? And she's crying. And that's at the moment where, she at a young age had accepted that was her reality. Like, it's such a heartbreaking thing to go through as a child.
Yes.
Like, seeing that. So
especially you're a teenage girl getting raised by your dad. And so talking about the store.
Yeah.
So she's at a store, she's trying to pay for something, and she can't find her wallet. And then the shopkeeper, the same shopkeeper that was talking shit before, is the same ajuma talking shit now, where it's just like, oh, so like, do you think you can't find your wallet because your mom went away? And it's like,
yeah, basically. And she was saying, hey, because you don't have a mom, you need to make sure that you live properly. Because, if you don't, like, people aren't going to, like, you need to act smart so people don't find fault with you.
Which is crazy because Soomin had a mother. And she ended up acting
even, yeah.
And I also think this falls into the fact, like, where if a man leaves a family, it's like, okay.
But it's a woman, yeah, because that becomes, society sees it in a different way.
So when a man
hypercritical, hypercritical. I mean,
well, when a man leaves a family, it's somehow the woman's fault.
Yep.
And so that's why there's such this big thing about, like, the single mother, and they say single mother so hard as in, like, she became a mother by herself. And then it's like, well, why? Well, she had to be the reason that the man left. And somebody, and I saw something recently talking about, like, daddy issues, and it's just like, this lets you know the psychology we have about men, because we talk about women with daddy issues as if the man wasn't the problem. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just like, so it's like, well, your mother left, so you need to make sure that you act a certain way so people don't know you were raised without a mother. So the shopkeeper's talking just so much trash to her. And then Soomin comes in and is defending her.
Yes.
The one with the mother comes in swinging and hands her wallet.
And then she lends a hand out when she needed it. And she takes that hand. And this is the start of their friendship. And this is when she says that she trusted the wrong people because she had nothing. And that's something that she wants to change.
But in that moment,
in her new life,
because you find out later on how that moment happens. But in that moment, it's like, this makes sense as a friendship.
Yeah.
This girl found your lost wallet and defended you against this woman who keeps talking shit anytime you come to her establishment.
Yeah.
Because if it was me, I'm like, there's got to be another store in this neighborhood. There has to be.
So then we jump back to the present. And we are back to the scene where Yoora shows up at Jihyuk's house, okay? And Jiwon learns that Jihyuk had an ex-fiance, right? And remember, Jihyuk held Jiwon's hand very tightly the entire time. But Jiwon drops his hand. And then she leaves and she goes back.
Because what I couldn't
her
understand
room.
is why she was so upset. Because Yoora says we aren't together. But I guess it's
Yes.
because she doesn't know the timeline.
She doesn't know the timeline and she still feels like she was deceived because, okay, let's think about this logically, right? You're dating a guy
Yeah.
and I guess, but here's the thing. So there, there's two sides to it. I understand why she's shocked because that is pretty shocking.
Shocked, yes.
Shocked.
But
because
not
it's a
a-
shocking thing. But she also like never he didn't really have an opportunity to tell her because this entire time he's been helping her with the plan. It's not like she was asking him.
Also, he's been pushing her away the entire time.
Right. So there wasn't really the right opportunity to do so. So I get both sides. But again, knowing Jiwon has this like weird trauma of like her mom getting up cheating on her dad, who knows? And this is why I think
And then Minhwan cheating on her.
Right. Minhwan cheating on her.
And then being around deceptive and lying
Yeah.
people.
And she thought that Jihyuk was different, that he wasn't lying, but she feels at this moment he kept something from her, right? So
He
she's
did.
shocked. And he did. So she goes back. She goes to her apartment. She collapses. She gets a call from Hyun, right? And Hyun's like, oh my God, what are we going to do? Jooran has stomach cancer. So like Jiwon is so upset because she realizes, oh my God, my fate has transferred over to Jooran.
When everything was supposed to transfer to Soomin.
Yeah.
And so now Jooran is almost like collateral damage.
Yes.
Because this wasn't because she's a good person. But for those of us that are like watching this, I'm like, oh, this makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that stress she couldn't externalize.
Yeah.
When Jiwon had it,
Yes.
Jooran can't do the same thing either.
Right. So basically, Jooran and Jiwon are very similar. They're in a similar situation. They're both getting walked all over by these men in their lives. They're getting bullied, like all of this stuff. She has work stress from green sleeve. So all of it like aligns,
So work stress, family stress, everything's awful.
Everything.
She's just trying to sell this meal kit.
Yes. Just let her sell the fucking
Just let me sell these ready-to-make meals.
So, really quickly, Yoora meets Jihyuk's grandfather,
Halapji,
right?
yeah.
Halapji. They're family friends. And we learn that Yoora helped manage the PR crisis that UNK went through with dictator director. Remember that whole incident? Because
With
that
the
happened
first meal kit.
on her flight. Not her flight, on her, at her company. So that's her, she owns an airline, right? She runs an airline. So she tells Grandpa that she regrets ending the engagement with Jihyuk because she realizes that Jihyuk is more like 멋있어. Like he's gotten a little bit more attractive. Because again, this whole thing, like all the family or the people around Jihyuk is noticing that he has changed. Because in the past, he was
a
robotic.
robot. Yeah.
He had zero emotion. He was just kind of like going along with it. But now he's like he's
Smiling.
changed. And then you learn that Yoora has been spying on Jihyuk. Jihyuk has like two people tailing him, basically.
You think that people telling them must not catch each other? They must be that good. Maybe it's the same person. Honestly, you would hope it's the same person. He's just like, all right, let me just get 2 copies of all of these pictures. Who are these? These are going to UNK. This is going to that goofy bitch over there. Like, it's just like nosy grandpa, nosy ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, and then Yoora, you can kind of tell like she's kind of unhinged. Like she's looking at these photos and she's like, oh my God, her story. It's like a soap opera. Huh. And she's like, how would I feel if my best friend stole my boyfriend and I landed a chebo? Like, you know what I mean? She's just like, there's something off. Then we skip over to Jiwon, it's very sweet. I know I'm laughing.
Bought a car.
She bought a car because she feels so much guilt. God bless Jiwon. Jiwon's a sweet girl.
Jiwon bought a car to drive Jooran to her doctor's appointments.
Yeah. Because because again, I think like, yes, Jiwon feels bad, but Jiwon is also, she knows what Jooran's going through. She knows the husband is worthless. So is the husband going to drive her? No. So she's like, I got you.
She also knows like the process, like she's going to have to get surgery. She's going to have to get this. And so like she says she feels, and this interesting because she said she feels weaker when she's with Jiwon. But when she's alone, she can endure it.
Yeah.
Then it makes you feel like you're weaker, even though you should probably be able to talk about those things. Because like Jiwon comforts her and urges her to like express her pain instead of hiding it.
Yeah, because what she's doing when she says she can endure it, she's just suppressing it.
Which is causing the stomach pain in the first place.
Yes. So.
Because I had a job and I did not know that. I've had 2 jobs where when I was at work would make my stomach hurt. And so one of them, it's like my stomach was in such a knot that if I would eat, it was almost like I could feel the food.
Yeah.
Like when I would eat lunch sitting on top of it.
So then we skip over, right?
Yeah.
So we don't have to, this could be quick because Soomin and Minhwan are at their honeymoon, okay? So they go to honeymoon local, right? They stay within Korea, so
because
this domestic.
She said you're pregnant and you can't fly anyway.
She's super upset about the cheap honeymoon, and I get it. That little hotel room, I was like, what is this? What is this? They're like in some village somewhere, right?
I couldn't figure out where they were.
It made me sad. But basically, she's like, complaining, and Minhwan says the same thing that he said to her in the last episode, which is, why didn't you just talk to my mom about it if you hated it so much? And she's like, why would I talk to your mom?
I just got here.
And I can't do that. She's my mother-in-law. Like, I can't do that. And he's just like, listen, you're great, but one thing about you is you don't know about marriage. If you just do this, we will be happy, basically says.
But also, he doesn't know about marriage. He's never been married before.
And he's like, we just need to be independent, basically. He's like, I do my thing, you do your thing. So basically, he doesn't want to be responsible for her. That's what he's insinuating, right?
Even though marriage is 100% going, this is a contract between humans.
It's a partnership.
And it's you going, I'm going to be responsible. It's like getting a plant. I have to keep this alive. If you have a kid, I have to keep this alive. If you get a spouse, you have to keep it alive.
Exactly.
That's the whole thing. If you have friends, your only job as a human being is to keep the humans next to you alive. That's truly what we're all put here for. Like, my responsibility is to keep my mother and my brother and my dog, and then my cat has passed.
Yeah.
But she was 18. She had cancer. She passed on her own. We didn't have to put her down, thank God, because I would have felt so bad forever. Yes. But your job as a living creature is to keep other living creatures alive, unless it's a spider in your house and you kill that motherfucker 17 times. Because he shouldn't have came in here. But this was the part that confused me because I couldn't figure out how he did this. So Minhwan secretly cancels the rental contract and then he takes the money.
The deposit.
And that's what I can't understand because it would have been in the mom's name, right?
Yeah.
So
or maybe they co-signed. They co-signed.
But this is how I also don't understand. If he canceled the rental contract and then took the money, isn't his mom going to wonder where the money went for the down payment?
Yeah, and he said that, it was a fraud. We got scammed. That was his whole answer.
That's what I couldn't understand.
Yeah, so that's what he tells his friend, right? So he's outside talking on the phone to his friend. His friend is the one who helped get the money back. So he's like, okay, we deposited the money. You have the money. So Minhwan is saying, okay, all I'm going to do is tell my mom that we were scammed.
The rental was a scam.
Rental was a scam. So we're going to have to just move in back home with my parents.
So he's taking that money to pay off his debt, you hope, or he's going to use it to get more debt.
So this made a lot of sense to me then. So who knows what happens, but you know how so I think this is how Jiwon in her first life ends up just living in that house.
Because the mom and the
dad, they're not there. So I think they end up moving out because I always wondered why she was in that old house.
In that old apartment.
Because he basically never got a new home.
Because I do wonder if the mom just bought their self a house.
That's what I'm thinking. So, Sumin overhears, and she's just like, "What is happening?" And then she's realizing that he is indeed trash. He's acting
Because now I have to
super
live with
shitty.
your awful mom.
Right. So then we go really quickly. The meal kit, there's a crisis at work, okay?
Why? We didn't need to know. This meal kit thing could have been done.
So basically, all the chefs that they had done contracts with for the meal kit idea, right? The whole point was these like mom and pop shop chefs were going to create meal kits, right? They're all pulling out of the contract.
Right.
Green Sleeves is like it's like, you know, like egging on Hyun, being like, "Oh, did everyone cancel? So like, it seems like Green Sleeves has something to do with this, right? So
Right.
that's all we need to know. And then Jooran isn't there because Jooran is literally sick. So she is in the hospital. She has to take some days off because she has freaking cancer. Then Jihyuk asks Jiwon to come and chat with him. So they go into that little conference room wherever Minhwan and Jiwon would meet. And basically, Jihyuk is asking Jiwon to listen to his side of the story because he's basically like, "You gotta like hear me out here, right?"
Right.
And then he tells her, like, he had broken his engagement in his past life. Like, he was never going to marry her. He broke it off. But the only reason why he did it early was because he knew, like, he just wanted to, like, speed up the process, right?
Right.
And he tells her, like, "I didn't realize that I was in love with you until I went to your funeral." Right?
And you can't do nothing then.
You can't do anything then.
Because it's also because he's not treating this as his second chance either. But I wonder if if he didn't have the tattoo from the dad, is if he would treat this more like his second life as opposed to being like a helpmate to Jiwon.
Maybe.
Like if he wasn't like branded
that's
like
a good
allowance.
He was branded.
He was
then he saw
branded.
the dad.
And then you
the
saw
dad
the
was
dad.
like driving him.
And if you had a
to, like,
second
heaven,
chance,
basically.
and then Jiwon was like, "Oh, my dad would write this on my allowance," because they have the conversation where she's like,
"Would you take the chance?
Would you
He
take
said,
the
yeah.
chance?" But then she says, "I want my allowance to have a life. I want my allowance to be happy."
Yeah.
So it's like if he was not branded as this companion to her, and he was just given a chance to be with her, and would he see himself as such a soldier for her if he was not like basically sent back? Because he thinks he went back specifically to help her because
he's
dad
branded,
which is branded.
Which is a fair point. Like, if you come back, that makes sense.
If you come back with a tattoo you did not get,
and then you see this man. The man's like, "You want a second chance?" Like, clearly he was sent back for a reason.
Right.
So that makes sense. Maybe this is why he's being a noble idiot.
Yeah.
But Jiwon basically says, "Listen, it doesn't matter because to me, like she tells him, she's like, my mom left when I was young because she had an affair. She believes that relationships shouldn't end like one-sided. So it can't be just one party deciding to leave." So basically, and this part kind of confused me. So I think what she's trying to say is that she knows he didn't cheat technically, but it was still something like, it wasn't like a unilateral decision from both, but it kind of was.
But he broke off the engagement before they got together. Because my mom, like the mumsy moment was this, and her being like, "Girl, what are you talking about?"
Exactly. So
that's
it's
my
a
whole
little
thing was
like,
just like, "What, girl, what are you talking about?" She's like, because she's like, they wasn't together. It's not like he lied to you. It's not like he was cheating on her. It's not like he did anything wrong. So my mother was like, because I think this is, if I was a netizen, I would hate this episode.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make any
sense.
effing sense.
And I feel like they were just trying to force them to be apart. And so they're just making shit up. So it's almost kind of like, why are you using your mom's affair as an excuse?
Because I don't think any other excuse. Because the thing is, if they were still technically engaged and he got with Jiwon, that would make more sense.
Yeah.
But I think if he was still technically engaged and he got with Jiwon and didn't tell her, the audience would hate him.
Yeah. So it doesn't make sense. I agree.
But now we're just mad at her. And she's not making any sense.
She's not making any sense.
But it's also, it's like, it feels like it's in that same vein of the noble idiot where I'm just like, well, a relationship, but you just left Minhwan and that wasn't an agreement. You left Minhwan to save your life.
It wasn't technically, yeah, that was also one-sided.
That was very one-sided.
Yeah, because he did not want, he didn't want to break up.
He was going to disrespect you forever and still be your husband.
So so basically Chuck's like, fine, okay, then you're not going to listen. But he hands her a card. He's like, this is a cancer specialist that I recruited from the U.S. He's now at a year and a half ago. She's now in her cancer ward. You need to give this to Jooran, which tells us that sweet Darcy Neem has been knowing that Jiwon was going to get cancer.
Somebody was going to get this cancer.
He has been recruiting this woman to come over from the U.S. to Korea for a year or half a year. That's very sweet. That was very sweet of him.
I just want a man to text me back.
So
he's out here recruiting medical staff and bringing them across the world. And I just want a motherfucker to text me back.
He's sending his friends undercover to deliver chicken to make sure that she's doing okay.
And I cannot get a motherfucker to text me. But this is all you have to remember. This is
A
TV.
drama.
This is a drama.
This is drama.
This is TV.
It's not real life,
None of your
guys.
friends are going to send somebody to be a fake Uber Eats to make sure that your boyfriend doesn't have sex with you.
And we cannot, ladies and men, everyone, however you identify yourself, we cannot use this as a guide.
Barometer.
A barometer. This is fiction.
I think all these things she said to Jihyuk was nonsense.
Yeah.
And I think the real reason is that she's worried.
She's scared.
That she's scared.
Yeah.
But I would go, my father sent this man back in time. My father brought this. I know. My father sent this man back in time and then branded him.
Why would my dad send someone who is faulty?
Why would he send me a Minhwan? Why would he send me a liar? Why would he send me a bad man? Why would my father send somebody to me so I can relive my life and send me somebody to help me so I don't get murdered?
They should have just, again, I think the writers room, I think they made a
this feels like one
mistake.
I feel like somebody didn't keep track of something.
No, I just feel like all they needed to do, they didn't need to break them up. All they needed was Yoora, because Yoora does a lot of damage.
All she needed to, I think it's
like, you don't need Jihyuk and Jiwon not to be together. Like,
no,
what is this? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I think it was been more interesting if, again, they would have utilized her in another way. If there had actually been some type of relationship between Jihyuk and Yoora.
Yes.
And there was still like a little bit of like residual feeling where she could like try to come and try to seduce him.
Yes.
So now Jiwon goes to meet Yoora.
Okay. So I have a lot of...
This whole thing annoyed me.
So one thing that also annoyed me is they're making this character evil for no reason. Like, there's no backstory to her.
None.
She's genuinely a whack job. She is a wacko. Like,
fresh out the gate.
She's a whack. She's
10
a whack
toes
job.
down. Ridiculous.
So she like tells Jiwon to come meet her. Jiwon goes.
Nice restaurant.
Yeah, nice restaurant. She goes, I know this is a cliche to call you out. And I'm like, what? Okay, sure.
Also, why are you calling her out? You and that man are not together. You both agreed to end the engagement.
Yes. And then she basically says, Jiwon's just like off the bat, she's like, listen, I didn't know about your engagement and I'm not going to see him anymore. She like literally nips it in the bud. She's like, I'm basically like, didn't know, not with him anymore. Nice to meet you. We can go.
I'll have some pasta and go, or I can just sit up. I don't even have to sit down.
Exactly. But she accuses of her of going after Jihyuk for his money. Basically, she's just like, I think you went after him because he's a chaebol, you know? And
Bitch, who cares? I just told you I'm not going to talk to this man no more. Get off me.
Yeah. And then Jiwon's just like, again,
okay,
we're no longer together.
I hear you.
Because she knows he's psycho. She's like, listen,
I'm good.
I'm going to go. She gets up to leave. And the girl literally throws her wine glass on the floor. It shatters. And like, Jiwon's like, what are you doing? then she goes, I don't like self-righteous nobodies like you. You're acting like you're better than me. I don't like you, you know? Then,
Okay, girl.
sure. Then she goes up and touches Jiwon's face.
My face is very expensive. Don't touch my face.
That, I was like, oh my God. And Jiwon's just like, you know what? You're the kind of person I don't like either, right? You think just because you feel a certain way, everyone else does. It must matter to you that Jihyuk is a chaebol because you think everyone else thinks like you.
Didn't I say if you're a trash ass person, you think other people are doing trash ass things?
Yeah. And she's like, I'm not like you. It doesn't matter to me. I can change my life without him, or I change my life without him. I don't need him. Right?
Right.
Which is very interesting because we kind of go back to the earlier episodes where she was like, I need to do it on my own. I need to do it on my own.
And I need to drown in this lake by myself.
Right. Because this is the exact point. She's like, I don't need him. I like him, but I don't need him.
I got a makeover for me. I changed my clothes for me. I started doing stocks. I got a new apartment for me.
Yes. So she leaves. Oyura's like shaking. She's so upset. And then she goes and she drops off the authentic necklace at Jihyuk's place. But again, I really don't like this character because I felt like this was really lazy the way they introduced her because she's just crazy. Like, what's the point? Like, what is the point of entering her?
We should have been getting things from her the entire time. She truly does come out of nowhere. Like, it is left field. It is third. I truly don't understand what she's even for. Because it doesn't make any sense. I don't even like how the character is portrayed.
So another thing that people were complaining about was the actress, Boa. She's this former K-pop artist. So I mean, she's still a K-pop singer, but she's legendary. She's my age. She debuted. Like she is a big, big star, right? She's not an actress. And I don't think she knows how to act. Like, again, not trying to be mean, but this was like probably just awful. It just felt very like fake soap opera. Like the character is like a soap opera villain. The acting is like soap opera kind of bad. Not that all soap operas are bad, but like it's just like wooden acting. Like it just wasn't good. So I don't think there's anything redeeming about any of her.
I thought I was just watching. I'm just like, I literally watched. I'm just like, is this her first show?
We'll do a deep dive next time. I'll do some research. But I have not seen. I was shocked when I saw her. I was like, is that Poa? And I think a lot of people had that reaction. It was very random of them to cast her. This week's segment, we're going to talk about Chaegyuri.
Yeah?
Chaegyuri, our Hyun.
Oh, love her.
I know. She's our favorite. She's such a good actress. She's young. She's 24 years old.
Sounds right.
And she's still a star. She's still studying at Korea National University of the Arts. So she's still studying to be an actress, right? She decided that she wanted to become an actor after she watched Reply 1988, which is a very fun drama that I feel like you would also like.
Yeah, I've seen it come up in
I think you would very enjoy it. It's like a family. It's good. Then she had her first role in a drama called Uncle in 2021. Okay.
I think I almost watched that
Yeah.
show.
And then she's been in a couple of stuff. She's been in Rookie Cops, Behind Every Star, Battle for Happiness. So many dramas, guys. There's so many.
So she's working.
She's working. She's been working since 2021. Good for her. Every year. And then Marry My Husband, obviously, was 2024. That was her breakout moment. Because it had such a strong international audience, I think she was one that she talked about getting like a bunch of followers for like international followers, which is interesting. Like apparently her follower count went from 2,000 to 670,000 overnight. Isn't that crazy? But people loved her. And she was also in Knockoff, which was that Kim Soo-hyun drama that just finished, that was supposed to air this summer, but has not aired yet because of a scandal.
Because the old boy. I'm going to see. Let's follow her.
I follow our handle follows her, but she's really into drawing and candles. She has a cat. She's also known for a good enunciation when she's acting. They
I-
love the
let me-
enunciation and diction.
Let me tell you something. She looks like she's lost weight since this role, too.
Oh, wow.
She is so pretty.
She's adorable. I just think she's such a cute, like, actress. Then we jump to the parking lot at the Kalbi restaurant that Jooran's family owns. They're putting her into a car with the husband, but Seokjun, Darcy Neem, is watching.
And where were they sending her? I couldn't figure out where they were sending her. To the
I think
doctor,
she was like either going home, something.
Because they
But-
kept the baby.
Yeah, but Seokjun is watching, right? Mm-hmm. But then you see that the person the husband is having the affair with, she's a friend of Jooran's too, because she's there with the family, putting Jooran in the car, right? So
Okay.
this is when Jiwon just, Jiwon's thinking this at home, but this is happening. It's jumping. But Jiwon's like, she wonders if the fate has something to do with the husband and not marrying Minhwan. Do you know what I mean? So she's realizing, she's trying to figure out whether it has nothing to do with Minhwan or Soomin. It's just a husband. You know what I mean?
Right. So the fate had to get off of her. But it has to do now with a husband killing a wife. Or basically it's just, yes. It's like a
Yes.
husband killing a wife.
So now what she's worried is, she's worried that Jooran, because she's sick, what if her husband tries to kill her?
Because she got the cancer. And her
Yes.
being sick is what
Cause
which gave Minhwan the chance to be so flagrant with the affair.
right. But then we find out that Jooran has locked in a surgery date, which is great, all thanks to Jihyuk, right?
Thanks to the specialist.
And then we kind of jump to the Soomin Minhwan household,
Right.
living with the mother-in-law. And it is as awful as anyone could imagine. First, the mother-in-law finds out about the fraud, the real estate fraud, right? The scheme that Minhwan does. She's super pissed, right? Everyone's upset.
Because Minhwan's like, oh, it was a fraud. Even though Soomin knows that he stole the money.
You're right. But the mother-in-law is berating Minhwan. But then Soomin's not like Jiwon, right? Because
Well, the thing is, because she starts blaming Soomin and just like, well, as the wife, you should have said something.
Right.
And she's like,
right.
what?
Yes. But Soomin is different from a Jiwon because Jiwon would have probably led to just like accepted all of this, right? Soomin pushes back. Soomin's like, actually, mother-in-law, weren't you the one who decided to get us the apartment? You found the apartment. You paid for it. I had nothing to do with this.
I just got here.
I got here. And then also, when we were getting married, I was promised, like you promised Minhwan that you would buy us a house. I didn't say anything then, but like, why are you trying to blame it on me? Like I accepted the fact that you reneged on getting us a house.
And now we're renting.
Now we're renting, but you really shouldn't be mad at me about this. You shouldn't blame this on me. And then she also says, you also need to stop hitting Minhwan, right? She's like, you can't continue yelling at him like this, and she kind of points to the baby. She was like, we're about to have a baby soon. You can't like really do that to him. So she kind of defends him.
Which makes him go on her side, which is pretty genius because I'm sure he doesn't like get knocked upside the head as a grown man.
Right.
So, but I do think it's interesting because Minhwan kept saying to her, say something to my mom, say something to my mom. And she kept going like, I can't.
But she finally did this
And
time.
I think she finally did because I realized that she realized that she's stuck.
She's stuck and she realizes that Minhwan is dumb. He's not going to do anything. The mother-in-law is going to walk all over her. So she's kind of in this like uncomfortable spot, but she needs to fight back. And she has the personality to fight back too. So she is using her fox skills. She's pretty cunning. Like, she can be conniving. So she's going to like, spin this one, right? And then
But she also needs Minhwan in her corner because Minhwan's also not being, because it's just like, you can't have both of them coming at you
Yeah.
the whole time.
Right.
It can't be you're hitting Minhwan. It can't be Minhwan's ignoring me, and then the mother-in-law is not nice. Like, y'all both can't be mean to me and yelling at me.
Yes. So Minhwan, during this outburst, he lets it slip out that Soomin is a contract worker, right? Mm-hmm. And then the mom's like, "What? You said that she was a full-time employee." They're like, "Well, whatever." You know what I mean? And then,
But she said she's got a little money.
yeah, because she bought the Roy Gentle stocks, remember? Mm-hmm. So that kind of goes back. So she's like, "I have my money. I have money." You know? So.
And now Minhwan has to figure out how to steal her money.
Then she goes to, so she and Minhwan go to their room, and she tells Minhwan that she got a miscarriage. She miscarried because he threw the phone at her. Mm-hmm. And he actually is like super sad. And
she's looking at the fake sonogram.
And he actually, at one point was like, tearing up.
He was like, crying.
He felt bad. Which is just, oh my God. And then
but then he goes like, but wait a minute. If you had a miscarriage, why did you say the baby wanted barbecue? Like, she says the timing of it. He's like, wait, when we were on honeymoon, why did you say the baby wanted Korean barbecue? And then she goes, and then she says, didn't you lie about getting us a house?
Just like ridiculous.
So I thought that was an interesting response because she didn't acknowledge. It's like she does acknowledge and doesn't acknowledge. It's almost like she was saying like I was never pregnant, but it's also like he's trying to catch her in a lie, and he's like wait, didn't you lie to me? Hold on, don't try to say that I was lying about my miscarriage when you were supposed to get me a whole house. Mm-hmm. You talking to?
So then we go back to UNK. Hyun and Jiwon. Hyun brings Jiwon food, right? And it's this like product placement of the Kopiko and the salmon protein chips, which made me LOL. At one point, I was like,
ridiculous product placement. I was like, this is the most. First of all, I've never read a label of anything the way we read that label for those salmon protein chips, and it was just like, Jihyuk sent me because he said he knew you would need a snack. So it's like salmon, protein chips, and beer.
So they're drinking. And then Hyun is basically telling. There's a lot of stuff that Hyun tells, right? Hyun's basically like, hey, I just want you to know that Yura's crazy. Mm-hmm. She was like, and then she tells her that Yoora has also been visiting the grandpa a lot. So she tells her that, right? And she tells Jiwon that the reason why Jihyuk decided to get engaged to Yoora was because he wanted to create a family for him and his sister, for Hyun and him, right? Mm-hmm. And then she also says that, Jihyuk never had any interest in dating. He was like a robot, but he's changed because of you.
But didn't she say they're not blood related?
Okay, so
that was confusing to me, which means that the mom had her from someone else before she got married to his dad who died.
So I don't know if this is what I wanted to talk to you about was my impression, because they said biological, right? Mm-hmm. But to me, that makes zero sense because they bring up the age difference. When Jihyuk is talking to his grandfather about it, he's like, I only realized that she was the mistress when I thought about the age difference between me and Hyun.
Because there's only 5 years difference.
Right. But to me, it's like, why would he say that if they weren't biologically related?
Also, who takes in the child if she was the mistress?
I think what they meant, I think he's her half sister. I've always thought that. I always thought that she was the half sister.
She is the half sister because she's the sister from the second wife.
Right. Yeah. From the mistress.
I didn't think she was a mistress. I thought the mom had died and they got remarried. But this is actually a mistress situation.
It seems like it's a mistress situation because this woman was, Mrs. Cha was her name. She was always around because she was taking care of Jihyuk when his mom was sick. So Jihyuk's mom was sick. Jihyuk's mom was sick. And so we're kind of jumping, but this is the conversation that Jihyuk has with the grandfather, right?
So this is the...
Yeah.
So this is like a Queen of Tears, kind of this lady was around.
Kind of. Yeah. So Jihyuk's mom was sick. Mrs. Cha was always around. So we don't know what she was. Maybe
But she was
like
Mrs. Cha.
she was Miss Cha, Mrs. Cha, yeah.
Oh, Miss Cha.
Miss Cha. So Miss Cha was always around. Jihyuk says that he liked her when he was younger because mom was always sick, but Mrs. Cha wasn't. So he leaned on Miss Cha as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that means it seemed like that they would have a relationship then.
I think they did. I think they did have a relationship. And then the important point is Hyun basically says, my brother would never cheat because it's something that he had to he's watched his mom go through.
Oh, because his dad cheated with Miss Cha.
Yes.
So his dad cheated with her mom.
Yeah. But again, he says, like, to me, I feel like Hyun was his half sister though, because they do talk about the age difference. Again, like, why would he point out the age difference between them?
And they also have the same last name. And they also have the same grandfather.
And I don't think grandfather would have
There's no way that Halopoji would have accepted the daughter of the mistress if it wasn't his biological granddaughter.
Yeah.
We also have to mention that in 2017, Jihyuk confronts Yoora for beating women.
Oh yes,
This is when I realized her acting was bad because he's like throwing pictures down and she's just like, I don't like it when people touch things that are mine. And it's just like, what?
So this woman is truly Looney Tunes. She's Looney Tunes.
Because we get this in a flashback. So Jiwon doesn't know this, and then it hasn't even happened yet. So Hyun doesn't even know this.
No, Hyun just knows that she's crazy. He's like, there's something unstable about this person.
And then we get a flash forward to get confirmation that she is.
Yes. So then,
because she's just beating up, I guess, women in Jihyuk's general vicinity.
which is insane. So Yoora is plotting. Okay, so you see crazy Yoora in her hotel room or wherever with her bodyguard person who seems very cute. He's very attractive.
He is very cute.
He's
so this
very
is
attractive.
basically, her Mr. Lee.
And then she decides to take matters into her own hands, and she's like, I'm going to send Soomin and Minhwan evidence of Jihyuk. Okay,
But this is my question. Why? For what? Why do they need to know that he's a chaebol?
to rile them up, I don't know. Who knows? Again, this episode's a little off. Okay.
I think this episode lets me know that's like, okay, we only have 16 episodes. We need to fast forward to the end of this thing.
Or maybe it's because Yoora has been spying on everyone for a while now, right? So maybe she knows that Soomin and Minhwan are crazy. So maybe she's just like, you know what? These are crazies. Let's just rile them up even more. And hopefully they'll do some crazy stuff to Jiwon. I don't know. So she sends them evidence, okay? Soomin is home. She has to clean an entire house alone. The mother-in-law isn't helping. And that house is a mess. And I'm just like, what happened?
And she's like, not just the laundry that's on the floor.
Yes, just everything. So
But no, the way those comforters fall on her, and I'm like, if she was pregnant, she wasn't gonna be after these comforters fell on her.
So she's cleaning, she's upset. Then she's thinking, right? She's just thinking every time about how Jiwon said, you took my trash out. You took my trash out. Ha ha ha. Thank you. So she's thinking that. Then she gets the piece of mail, and then she sees the photos of Jihyuk and Jiwon dating, right? They're going to the ocean, all of that. She sees the evidence. And then she also sees the paperwork that proves that Jihyuk is indeed the heir to UNK. So you see his name on the sheet of paper and the shares he owns. So she is livid. Okay. She's shaking.
And
right?
she also sees the shares that Hyun has.
Yes. And she's like, Hyun, who she never liked.
Never liked.
Right. So then she's furious that Jiwon plotted for her to take Minhwan. She realizes, she's like, oh my gosh, she's been planning this the entire time, right? Because she's doing this because she wanted to take the chaebol heir for herself. Oh my God. She screams that she won. She's like, but I won. And she screams and she chucks this plate at her wedding photo and it crashes and it's very dramatic. Okay. So she's shaking. Okay. Minhwan comes home. Mother-in-law is just like, oh my God. He's like, what happened? And his mom's like, I don't know, ask your crazy ass wife because she did this. She left a mess and she locked herself in the room, right? Mm-hmm. So he goes, right? He goes to the room. She shows him the evidence. And you know what he says? He's jealous that Jihyuk is basically a Nepo baby. He's pissed that
He's pissed he's a jebel.
He's a jebel. And he's just like, oh, what have my parents been doing their entire lives? God, they've been living like bums. What have they been doing? Oh my God, I want the opportunity. Like, why is it Jihyuk? It's unfair. And you're just like, what?
First of all, it's your grandpa's fault.
That's true.
If you really want to know what's happening, your parents didn't live like bums. It was your grandfather that didn't do the work because he didn't start a multinational company and then get you engaged to a crazy lady who runs an airline.
So he's like, if I had the support that Jihyuk had, he could have done great things too.
What, millions and billions of won?
Yeah. And then she's like, you know what Jiwon did, right? She dumped me. She dumped you on me, right? She dumped you on me. Mm-hmm. I picked up trash that has no pride, and he's stupid, and he's just like, what? What do you mean? Blah 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 blah.
There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than finding out you're in a relationship
with an idiot.
Well,
and then she's like, how much do you need to pay off your debts? She's like, we need to get compensated. Also wild that she thinks that she needs to get compensated, right? So she's like, why does Jiwon keep on getting the good things? We need to get compensated for this, okay? So she starts plotting. She's in the dark plotting, okay?
And so she's going to because it's like, she's in the dark plotting, but what I don't understand is what happened to the lawsuit that Jiwon had against Minhwan when she gave him the papers at the wedding.
Maybe he's going to use the $360,000 whatever that he got from the apartment, you know? Okay, so Jiwon's sleeping and she wakes up because she hears Soomin's voice in her dreams. Okay, she like wakes up. Mm-hmm. Then her mom. She gets a call from her mom.
Because you see Soomin plotting and Soomin's on the phone. Mm-hmm. And you don't know what's happening.
Right.
And her strange mother hits her up and she looks absolutely terrified. And so they go to
a restaurant. Meet. Yes.
To meet. And first of all, that lady sat down. I was just like,
she's not that pretty.
She ain't that pretty. That's the first thought I had.
She's fine.
She's fine. But the whole neighborhood was talking about this lady. Some Ajuma at the corner store was being mean to you because of this broad. Yo, man, I need a recount. That really upset me. And so she tells her basically it's like she never liked her dad. Yeah. She was just like this, and that's just why people got married back then, because you just basically was like, I needed to get out, and that's why you got married. Your dad was nice to me, but I didn't like him. I kind of didn't like you. And
well, she did like her.
She didn't like her, but it was like she didn't like being in that.
She didn't like her life.
She didn't like her life.
And she didn't love them enough to want to stay.
She didn't love enough to stay, and she was sorry. But, she had her when she was young and immature. And she was like, well, why didn't you come visit me?
And then she has an excuse for that. She's like, oh, your dad wouldn't let me. I tried, which is a lie, clearly.
It's clearly a lie. That man was following you in the rain. He was standing in the rain watching you go in this other man's house where you were going to make him ramen, and then he was going to go buy soju. So you just wanted to have fun with some raggedy man, and it looks like we're skating responsibilities with this person.
Right. And then Jiwon basically tells her, hey, listen, dad did the best job he could, right? She grew up this way, and it was largely due to her mom. It was due to her mom that she became drawn to the wrong people. So basically, she tells her mom that she has been struggling a lot since her mom left, right? So her mom apologizes. She says she's sorry, right?
Jiwon invites her out the next day and goes and picks her up in her little car. I've never seen somebody look so small in a tiny car.
It's a tiny little car.
And she's a tiny little person. And they spend the day and she buys her gifts. And I can say, like, when I got, like, when I started working at Daily Show and I was getting, like, real, like, money.
Yeah,
right?
You bought your mom stuff.
And I got to buy my mom stuff or like go out with my friends and like get the bill. It's a nice feeling, especially. And so when you're able to like just let me just get you something, it does make you feel very good, even though it's a bittersweet experience because her mother lets it slip that she's dating a rich man. And Jiwon smirks and she knows, she knew everything was off when she reached out to her. Because when she got a top university, her mother didn't say anything. When she got a top job, her mother didn't say anything. And so now her mother has shown up. And her mother's like, well, if you know that was the case, why'd you agree to this? And she was just like, because I wanted to have a happy day with my mother. Yeah.
And she has the nerve to be like, so Jiwon tells her mom that she broke it off with the chaebol or heir, right? And the mom's so upset. She's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And she's like, I don't need him. And then the mom's like, well, at least give me some money.
Which, how did we jump to that in this conversation? Because my mother was like, that was my mom's like mumsy moment. She was like, what?
Yeah. And then
other than like Jiwon like not wanting to stay, that was her other moment where she was just like, how the does this make sense?
Yeah. So then
at least give your mother 100 million won. And she's like, what?
So then Jiwon's just like, I'm not going to give you the money. I'm good.
I'm not giving you shit.
Why don't you continue? This part was great. She was like, you chose your path to live a life as a woman and not as a mom. So why don't you continue living that path? Because I don't need to see you anymore.
Right. And then the question of how'd the mom get all this information? Of course, it was from Soomin because there's a flashback where Soomin has reached out to Jiwon's mom and is telling her about Jihyuk.
Jiwon is super sad, right? Jiwon's sad after that meeting. She goes to the judo studio and she's peering in, looking at Jihyuk. And Jihyuk sees her and she's like, and then she runs away, right?
And then he gets flipped by Chicken Man.
I know. Chicken Man's like, I did it. I finally did it.
He said, after all these years, I finally did it. And the first time I watched this, I yelled at the screen, that's because he was distracted. It doesn't count. It doesn't count.
Right.
And then, so like she, but Yora's like getting her nails done.
Yeah. So Yoora, then we flash to Yoora. She's like getting her nails done by this lady. And then she decides to go visit Minhwan. So she drives up to Minhwan's villa or his apartment. And I guess we'll see what he tells her.
And then you see Jiwon after she sees Jihyuk get slammed. She runs off to the father's grave. And she laments that like she's just sad.
She thought that she found someone that really cares for her. And she's just questioning why her life is so hard.
The second time.
Yeah.
And this is what annoyed me so much because it's just like, this is only hard because you broke up with him. Because he didn't do anything wrong. Yeah. So what the is the problem? But I think
it's also tied to the mom, right?
I think it's definitely tied to the mom. Yeah. But this is what, if I sit here and think about this, I think the moment she saw Yoora and the second time when she met up with her at the restaurant, I think she clocked exactly who this girl is. And she's like, if I say with Jihyuk, I'm going to have a fucking problem. So it's one, I'm trying to make sure he's not a liar. And then he explained himself and I didn't want to accept it because after meeting her the first time, because when you see a Yol pop back, Yol.
There's no ul. Yo, W-O-O, like woo.
Yo?
Yo.
Oh, yo. So once you meet this bitch once, clocked. So if I see that tail coming down the stairs, it's like, oh, you won't get me twice. I already did this. I did this since I was 15 and then went back in time and dealt with it again. I know exactly what this is when it comes down the steps. So yes. Okay, you didn't lie to me. Fine. Yeah. But I don't want to deal with this.
Well, it gets even worse because guess what?
Listen.
She leaves the gravesite and there is a truck.
Yep.
He is waiting. He's waiting for her. He gets a call.
He's lurking.
Gets a call and he decides, okay, I am going to crash into her. So he drives his car full throttle towards Jiwon. Jiwon looks shocked. The car's about to hit.
Also, she does nothing.
Well, she's like, and then slow motion, a Land Cruiser, Jihyuk's Land Cruiser, pulls up. And he swerves and he intercepts, right? And as he's intercepting, he looks at Jiwon. Their eyes lock, and they're like, and
That's my girl what moment. Full eye contact during a car wreck. Girl, what?
And then the car violently slams into Jihyuk. And I'm just like, well, maybe he died. Maybe he died because
but he set this up.
Yeah, he set it up this entire time. He's like, you know, I'm going to die because he sacrificed. He's going to die. Maybe he died.
He's going to die. You're going to die. You're going to die. You're going to die. You're going to die.
Yeah. And guess what? That car came. And yeah, that is. And I got very strong Queen of Tear vibes, right? Mm-hmm. Because remember that last, that was it the fake out?
The fake out car wreck, you bastards, where this man's crushing his hand.
So yeah, that's the episode.
So because the plot deviated from the web novel. And this episode really was, because here's the thing, this show was so good up until this episode, because you're sitting there watching it. This episode's
pretty bad.
Because you're sitting up watching it going, what the is happening?
Yeah, and then it's
because for me, it's like, this is already in a language I don't speak.
Yeah.
But why do I not understand what's going on?
Even for me, just like going through and like rewatching, working on the notes, I was like, interesting. Like the thing about the Hyun situation with Jihyuk, I'm like, okay, they're not blood related, like, but they are because they're half brothers.
Well, here's my question, because like there's always this like joke that we would always have, like, among the black people, where it's just like we don't use the term half sibling unless it's two different moms.
The other thing too is this episode made me really realize that there are some flawed parents in this drama. Like each person has something that has happened
because
to them.
Because if Yoora's beating people up, what happened at her house?
Like what happened at her house. You have Jiwon with a mom who clearly was very selfish and only lived for herself. Mm-hmm. You have Soomin. We find out about Soomin's parents. They're not any better, right? It's pretty bad.
We know so much about Minhwan's parents.
You have the mom who's an absolute, like she's
a brat. She's a bully.
She is a bully. Then you have Jihyuk, where you learn that the dad cheated on his sick mother and created. Yeah. So just like a lot of this stuff. So it's very interesting that each main character has one parent that's a bit flawed, that has made these characters also flawed. Like it seems like the only person with like happy parents is Jooran.
Yeah,
they seem pretty. I mean, who knows?
And she's got a trash husband and gets cancer. Friends, we're back next Wednesday to chase the 13th episode of Marry My Husband,
which is so crazy. 13. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there.
We're almost there. So what do you think of the pod? Submit your questions, thoughts, prayers, rants, or whatever at chasingkdramas@gmail.com. And we love to hear from you directly, because what Chrissy is saying is that this time we're going to watch a show that is on air in real time.
I think we should.
I think it'll be
kind of fun.
Like, I think it'll be because it'll give like companion podcast vibes.
I think we should try it. I think we've been doing this for 6 months now. I think we feel, or at this point when this airs, like 7 months almost, I feel like we're comfortable to a point. Mm-hmm. So I think we figure it out.
I'll say people's names out loud now and I'm not worried about it.
I think it will, we should try it. So if you guys have any suggestions for any dramas that are going to be starting, I would say September, October-ish. Mm-hmm. I think that's it. That's going to be what kind of sweet spot.
Are we looking for more chebbles? Are we looking for revenge? Are we looking for love?
I mean, I think it's going to be dependent. So what's interesting is a lot of the dramas that are coming out on the streamers if it's like a Netflix drama, I'm sure there's gonna be like a fun romance, but a lot of it, I feel like what I have seen is going to be like more like thrillers.
Ooh.
Yeah, not thrillers like scary thrillers, but there's one that's coming out on Disney. I feel like it's gonna be like a political thriller. I think that's what my understanding is. So we'll kind of figure it out, but I think we should just try it. If it works, great. If it doesn't, or if it's a streamer, oh, there's a new fun one. Oh, there's a drama with Honey Lee, the girl that you like.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
The girl that was in Nightflower?
Yes. I believe it's a 6-part series that's going to be on Netflix. It's called Emma, A-E-M-A. It's about the adult film industry.
No.
Interesting. It may be a little edgy.
Oh, me and her the same.
Little edge for us. That could be something.
Yeah, and it's called what?
Emma, A-E-M-A. Yeah. So in 1980s Korea, movie star and a starlet defy male-dominated industry rules and backstage corruption while filming the provocative Madame Emma. It's an erotic film that they're filming.
What?
Yeah, it seems like edgy. It seems interesting. It's coming out. Oh, so it's coming out August 22nd. So we may that may not fit the pocket for us, but that's just something. Be very curious to hear. So anyways,
I'm excited. Well, I love her now.
Yeah, and I think it's a comedy, so I think it would be kind of interesting. But yeah, let us know. And yeah, be sure to follow us on the socials. All the things, guys. Watch, review, subscribe, like, comment, engage. We love it. Give us all the stars, all of it. So yeah, we will see you guys next week.
And we'll see you on our next K-Drama Chase.
사랑해.
Chasing K-Dramas is hosted and executive produced by Dulcé, Sloan, and me, Chrissy Choi. I edit the audio and video, and our production is led by Thomas Yuen from TY Media and Go Get 'Em Productions. Our artwork is designed by Screen. We're an indie podcast, and we're always looking for fun partnerships. If you're a brand that's interested in sponsoring our chases, or for your fan who just wants to stay in touch, please check out our website at chasingkdramas.com.